Shalom. Excuse me. Shalom. Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Shai Bashem Rukakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, the word for today is Babylon, or Babylon the Great, or the term Babylon the Great. So what I did was I put in the word Babylon, but it came up almost 280 some odd times. I think 283 times. So I said, well, let me put the term or the words Babylon the Great. And Babylon the Great came up only 2 times. I mean, if you look in the other scriptures, it'll say Babylon, it'll say great, and it'll say the, but not Babylon the Great, which I thought it was going to come up the whole phrase or term Babylon the Great. But like I said, it came up 2 times, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read these terms, and I'm going to see where the Spirit takes me. Maybe the Spirit take me nowhere, but I'm reading the scriptures. So anyway, it says in Revelation 17:5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. Now, if you were to break this down numerically in the Hebrew, I never did it in the Greek, but in the Hebrew, because I happen to have a Hebrew New Testament. So what you could do is you can get you a Hebrew New Testament, or you can take every one of these words and get the Hebrew equivalent of these words and put it together numerically and see what you come up with. And this was first given to me by High Priest Ariah. So in the back of my mind, I didn't believe. I said, nah, he ain't that good. So I had to go. I got the New Testament Hebrew, and I went into it, and I broke it down the way he broke it down, and it came up 666. Then I broke it down a little bit different, and it still came up. It still added up numerically to 666. So Mystery Babylon the Great represents 6. The mother of harlots represents 6. Abomination of the earth represents another 6. What you do is you add all those letters up, and you may come. The grand total might be 111, which would be equal 1 and 1 and 1 equals 3, right? I mean, like I said, if you want to do it, if you happen to have a New Testament Hebrew laying around, which, may the force be with you on getting one. Anyway, in Revelation 18, verse 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils or spirits, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, meaning unclean birds, scavengers. So what came to my mind is, I believe it's Isaiah 21. Let me do this here. Isaiah 21. Okay, Isaiah 21. I'll go to the 9th verse. And behold, here cometh a chariot of men with a couple of horsemen. And he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, and all the graven images of her gods he hath broken unto the ground. So that's what came to mind when I read Revelation 18:2, which, by the way, Revelation 18 is the closing credits for America. This is like the last, basically this is describing when the missiles hit this place in detail. And this is in the whole chapter. You read the whole chapter. One of my favorite chapters, by the way. And it's an easy chapter. If I break it down to you, it's very easy to remember. It's not a difficult chapter, but there's a lot you can pull out of it. If I ever really went into Revelation chapter 18 and pulled out certain keywords and matched up certain verses in Revelation 18, I mean, that's a class right there. That could be like a 3-hour video right there. So it's a fascinating chapter of the Bible. But it's very simple. Once you understand, it's describing the destruction of Babylon the Great. Okay, this one I'm not going to read, because most of the time Babylon refers to ancient Babylon, Neo-Babylon. Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51, two of my favorite chapters as well. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon. Now, scholars will tell you, when you read Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51, they'll describe pagan Babylon or Neo-Babylon. Just mention Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel, and so forth. But we know that, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Nah, I won't do it. I may come back. I wanted to go to the commentary, but maybe I'll go to it. Maybe I'll do it in another video. Maybe I'll go to it after this video is done. It says, for lo, all these scriptures, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Ezekiel 25, it mentions Nebuchadnezzar, but Daniel 2 mentions Nebuchadnezzar, the kings of Babylon. Daniel 4 mentions, it says in Daniel 4 and 30, the king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? So we know that this is talking about ancient Babylon. Same goes for Daniel 2 and 48. Let's read that. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. See, them men of the other nations, when they saw the power of the prophets and the men of the Most High, they bigged them up. Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 50, 51, Revelation 14, 16, Revelation 18 and 18. We know that's talking about this place, the United States. For lo, I will raise and cause to come upon Babylon. It's talking about this Babylon. This is getting ready to happen. An assembly of great nations. Assembly of great nations is when you get a number of things and they assemble themselves. They come together in a truce, as allies. Like you got the BRICS nations. You got the principal ones, which the acronym BRICS. What is it? Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and South Africa. But there's many others that want to join the BRICS. You do some information on that. I may even go into that as well. News on the BRICS. It's an alliance. It's mainly an economic alliance more than a military alliance. The EU is an economic alliance, and NATO is a military alliance. So you have alliances for two things: military or economic. And ultimately, militaries are set up for economic reasons because another nation, a stronger nation, can't take you down to keep your economy intact. Or you want to enlarge your economy, you use your military to attack that other sovereign nation and take what they got. That's what the Roman Empire was all about. They overpowered the other nation. They said, look, I'm not going to put you in slavery. You just got to pay a tax and you're good. You can believe in the God that you want to believe in. For lo, I will raise and cause to come upon against Babylon an assembly of nations. This starts with Russia coming back into power. Remember, Russia collapsed in the 90s and it came back into power. Great nations. So these are these former, by the way, the Ukraine was a part of the Russian Empire. So you had a lot of these nations formerly of the USSR break off. So basically what this war between Russia and the Ukraine is, they're bringing back, they're putting the band back together so you can understand. For economic reasons and military reasons. An assembly of great nations from the north country. The uttermost north is Russia. And they shall set themselves in array and battle against her. Against who? Babylon. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. Modern day arrows are the ICBM missiles. None shall return in vain. Jeremiah 51:54. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon the Great, destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. A sound of a cry. They're going to cry. They're going to cry. They're going to weep. It speaks about the king of Babylon. Matter of fact, I'll go to that. Let me go to Isaiah 14. I believe it's Isaiah 14. We'll find out in a minute. Go to the word king. Okay, it says here, Isaiah 14:4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. And that's us. It was talking about the kings of the nations. Okay, my memory fails me. There was a scripture. If I can reword it in my mind, I can get it easy. It may even be in Jeremiah 50 or Jeremiah 51. Let's do it this way. 13 times. Okay, this is what I wanted. I thought it was in Isaiah 14. This is Jeremiah 50:43. So who's ever the king, which is the president, whether it be Biden, whether it be Trump coming back in there, well, they both shit in their pants. That's the report. They both shit. So they're really going to shit in their pants on that day. It says, the 43rd verse, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them. The report of them is, what is it called? The daily presidential briefing. The DP, the DPB, the daily presidential briefing. Because the president gets a briefing every day about the state of the world on a geopolitical level. So things are going to get so tense that they're not going to know whether Russia's going to attack. So they're doing negotiations so they don't, one doesn't have to attack the other. But all those negotiations they're going to drop because the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai is involved in this. Remember, it said that the Lord put hooks in the jaws of Russia, the chief prince. And the hands waxed feeble, weak, anguish took hold of him, and pains as of a woman in travail. And I don't think that's talking about Biden, because if he got this report, he'll probably drop dead. Literally. It says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. So when Babylon the Great is utterly destroyed by fire, Armageddon, World War III, there's going to be breaking news around the world, as I have said in previous videos. So now let me come on back. I didn't have anything to go. So I just did this. So I'm gonna read 54 and 55. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because Yahweh have spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice. The great voice. It's not talking about Whitney Houston, the voice. It's talking about the great voice. You read about that in Daniel chapter 7. He spake great words. Blasphemed against the Most High. Revelation. Spake great words against the Most High. They thought to change times and laws. It said, when her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voice is uttered. They're going to bitch on that day. We're almost out of here. Hang with me. It's going to be a short one. Revelation 14 and 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Her fornication is not so much the MOTB, but it's a part of it. Because you have, what is this? Is it Ghana? What's the other one? They made a big deal. I believe Ghana was one of them, but there was another that they had the president and his cabinet go against. Go against. Help me out, y'all. I don't think it's Ghana, but Ghana's with it too. They don't like Mose. And they pushed that alphabet stuff, pretty much saying you got to pass laws to protect these people, not condemn them. So the premier, the president, and his cabinet, they kind of like, nah, we ain't with that. I believe it was Ghana, which you have Jakes in Ghana. But so that's the fornication in Revelation 17 and 4 and 4. It's not necessarily the microchip, even though that's part of fornication, but that's more of a technical thing. That's why it tells you that in the next verse, the ninth verse. Anybody that takes that chip, which is ultimately fornication, but fornication is, matter of fact, let me look it up. I know what it means, but let me look it up. Fornication. Illicit sexual intercourse, that means the alphabet people. Adultery, fornication, H to the O to the M to the O, L to the E to the S, intercourse with animals, bestiality. So fornication, fornication is also adultery. In this country, you can commit adultery and you don't get locked up for it. You don't get put to death for it. Alphabet people. And it says here harlotry, including adultery and incest, figuratively, idolatry, fornication. So when Kamala Harris, you don't even really see her. They kind of bring out the box once every 6 months. He says a few words and they put it back in the box. All right, back in the box. Like Genie. Back in your bottle. Like as you go on, and you got certain Israelite groups, I'm not going to mention any names. You know, we've been teaching that the mark, the MOTB, is a micro C hip, and they've been teaching otherwise, and they're going to have to admit that they were wrong. Because if they don't, and they tell their people to go ahead and take it, there's nothing wrong with taking it, they're all doomed. And we know they're going to be all doomed. We won't speak about it. Say you doomed. You ultimately, this is the icing on the cake. You done sold out with the cherry on top. This proves without a shadow of a doubt that you had a meeting and you sold out. Okay, Revelation 16:19. And the great city was divided into 3 parts. And the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before. The 3 parts represent this 3 nations, sons of the Most High, which are Israelites, because some of our people are going to die, even though they're the saints, they're going to die. The nations and the wicked fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Revelation 18:10, standing afar off, for the fear of a torment. Now, IUIC equates torment with hell. Torment means you're burning in hell forever. But wait a minute. So the other nations are going to witness Esau burning forever? Saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And thy judgment is by way of missiles. Zechariah 14:12. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So anyway, I said I was going to make this short. I didn't really have anything to say. I pulled out the word, and that's another one for the ages. Anyway, on to the next one. Shalom.